Good thing we have somebody watching and calling and saying, "Hey, there's no sound. You really need to
Exactly.
turn on the volume." So that was pretty fun. So thank you, mystery caller. Um, so starting again, welcome, JagaVision, episode 50 something. And here with Andrew McWilliam of Ratio, we were talking about in mute. We were miming everything, just like the first time we had Andrew on the show. But this time we caught it sooner. So you don't know this, those watching, but we actually had to go and redo the show last time because of the technical fail that just happened again. So amazing. And not that you're like a bad luck charm or anything here, Andrew. I've actually managed to do this probably about 25% of the time. Yeah. Are you frozen? Oh no, there we are. Okay,
Okay, good.
That was awesome. The
I'm
video,
here.
the video
Yeah.
froze your response, and you were just like this, and then you started laughing. It was great. Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Let's start again. So yeah, YouTube.com. Go back, JagaSilk. Search Huang Jingui. You'll find the original episode. It's in the single digits with Andrew. Andrew, you want to? We've known each other for almost 10 years, and this is Andrew's second time on the show. Ratio. Let's talk about Ratio. What is Ratio?
Yep.
For those watching.
So Ratio is sort of equal parts coffee shop, tea shop, pastry shop, and so I'm in the bakery today just because it has all the knives and everything I'm going to need for today's video.
Amazing.
But yeah, we have a team of about 15, 16 people who operate the place, and we do full service bakery, pastries, and donuts are kind of our big famous thing. But coffee program strong, tea program strong. Yeah, we do pizza, and I most recently have opened a small liquor store inside of our coffee shop because the government allows us to do off sales now. So
of course, yeah, why not?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
one more pivot for old time's sake with COVID.
So here's an idea for you. One more pivot before things go, because we're the word on the street is we might be going back to normal-ish if, vaccinations and cases are low, which, it's like the carrot at the end of the stick, right? Is people really going to be careful? But we just actually last week had Jace, I can never pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, Jace. He used to work over at Clive's. He managed Clive's, and now he's working with Agrius here in town.
Cool.
And Vessel, but he does the cocktail program. And what does a cocktail program look like for a restaurant that's closed for indoor service and had to do renovations and all this stuff? So he does delivery cocktails. So he actually makes cocktails that he bottles, and then people like take home bottled cocktails. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I've seen this. It's cool. Very cool.
I was like thinking like Andrew should have like those swing top bottles from like Richard's Packaging in Vancouver or something, and you could do like you could do like coffee and tea cocktails, and you could do like a thing, I don't know.
That would be cool.
Just throwing that out there.
That would be cool.
I
like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
But which sort of So anyway, so we've actually I was in mute when I said this before, but we've managed to be working together this entire time that Ratio has been in existence. There's been lots of transitions between different styles of doing the tea at your space. We've kind of talked through. It's been quite an interesting dialogue with you actually, because I really like the way that you operate your space. I think it's really interesting. I think that you're careful with not only with precise technique, but you also want things to be efficient. At the same time, you're also really careful with your team, and you want everybody to be happy. And there's like this kind of moral and like ethical side to what you do. And there's this really cool sort of third wave coffee and style that you have with your coffee program, and your pizzas just kick ass, and your donuts are amazing. And your can you tell them actually a little bit about your baker, for example, like just as an example, that I think there was that story of like what makes your baker special at Ratio? That education. Consider hope.
Yeah. Well, so we started with I have business partners who mostly live in Hawaii now, and they Lori is one of my business partners, and she started a pastry program here.
Okay.
She studied lots at the San Francisco Bread School, places like that. And Alyssa is now taken over. She's a Red Seal pastry chef, and just kind of we want to create a learning environment, so we're always sort of encouraging. It's part of it, trying to find courses for people to take. If you want to go find a pastry class, we want to send you to it, that sort of thing. So yeah, we got we got on our team like someone who's really passionate about chocolates, someone who's really passionate about croissants and breads. So got a really cool team of very qualified and capable staff to make the bakery run, and equally so in the front.
So for those watching that don't know what Red Seal certification is for a baker, what does that entail? Roughly, if you're gonna.
Well, I believe, I mean, the Red Seal kind of trademark is synonymous with training and expert level experience in the field. So there's actually like a trades association, and they would Red Seal anyone from a pastry chef to a plumber to an electrician, right? So
yeah, you do hear about
but
it.
But a pastry chef, I think, is you hear that. So a pastry chef is 3 years of education with on-job work experience, and then the last year, I believe, if I get it correct, is you have you stage or work underneath another Red Seal pastry chef, and then you have under that time you get mentored and apprenticed through them, so that you can kind of finish your program off, and then you get the official Red Seal.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of that's interesting because like that's a lot of time, and I mean, we were talking. We had Josh Del Sol on here from Level Ground Trading, and he's a Q grader. So he's got his Q grader certification, and it's just so we were just talking about how it builds a sort of like a language so that you can communicate with people about, say, flavors, and in the case of this particular certification, like, you know, understanding green beans and what the roasting process does and sourcing and all that stuff in the coffee industry. And it's just interesting to see this exist in so many different spaces. Where we don't see it so much, I think there's a lot of different institutions trying to make it happen, is I have yet to find one that is inspiring for tea. Really interested in seeing that develop, hopefully even participating in some sort of development of that. But I really love this idea of education. Like, it's just such a, I don't know, there's something about it that really fuels something pretty deep, I think, in terms of
opportunity for you, Jared.
There you go. Yeah, no, I'm co-directing the International Tea Appreciation Society, if you can believe it, and it's an actual registered corporation.
Yes, I saw that.
Super stoked. So that was last year. We did that 24-hour tea festival, and it was pretty fun. But we've been talking about what it would look like if we had like a TQA instead of a VQA, you know, like, or something like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And just kind of have like a way of, because, you know, in coffee, you have I think a very specific like criteria for what qualifies as commodity coffee versus specialty coffee. And I think that in tea, you often see a lot of commodity tea sold as specialty tea, and it's very hard to kind of say like, no, this is commodity, and this is specialty, and how do I even define that? And you know, this farmer is producing a full range, and it's just kind of interesting because we come up with it a lot, and I think you and I have talked about it too, like when we were exploring different tea options and what could happen, and I've come up with a lot of clients over the years who are just like, you know, like, because oftentimes when we start working with people, their tea is so cheap, it's like, I don't know, like
$1.75 a cup.
Yeah, right. So then so how do you? So you're in Vernon, and Vernon is a small town in BC. It's, I mean, not like a tiny town, but it is. I think we can qualify it as small, right?
For sure. Yeah.
And yet you're selling teas, maybe not tons of them at $5 a cup, but you're still doing it. I also find that, you know, I talk to some people in Vancouver that are selling their teas for $2 a cup, and they're like, there's no way that anybody in Vancouver will pay more than $2 for a cup of tea. Yet you're doing it in Vernon. What's your perspective there, Andrew? Like, how are you able to charge a little bit more for your tea, as an example? Or I guess, is it because it parallels in with all you're doing, like your coffee and your desserts?
So. Yeah, like, I don't ever want to say this in a boastful or proud way, because it's not my goal either, but we charge what things are worth here, and so that sometimes means you're paying the most for something here. You know, like our croissant might be more than expensive than any other croissant in Vernon,
right?
And our coffee will be so. And so with that, tea follows closely, and I think our teas are reasonable. I think we're doing some of your fast bar teas at $3.95 a cup, so it's very reasonable. And especially when you get the experience and the way that we plate it and everything and present it to customers.
Right.
So I don't have there's no issues with that in my mind of doing like you're serving a premium product at a very fair price.
Right.
But it's sort of like, I'm kind of trying to lean on this a bit more these days, is if you build it, they will come sort of thing. Like, and a good example is right now we're carrying lots of wines that are a bit more unique, all kind of natural, skin fermentation. So very like kombucha-like wines in a way that are quite hard to find at your everyday liquor store.
That's cool.
And sort of went out on a limb and carried a few of them at first, and now people are like responding to it because there are a certain crowd that was looking for this type of stuff, right? So there's always a crowd. I mean, even no matter how tiny the town, there's usually a crowd looking for what you're selling and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
if people want a $2 cup of steep tea, there's a Tim Hortons down the block where they can find it. But I'm pretty sure, there's a lot of people out there who are willing to pay for a very flavorful, traceable, sustainable tea for $2 more. So
right. Yeah, and it's an interesting conversation though that does come up. So that's cool. Like I know if I lived in Vernon, I'd be all about that wine program. I'd be like, yeah. And I'd pop by in. And I mean, technically if we were in a bigger city, perhaps our tea bar would have a lot more people because there would just be more people. But I'm not like unhappy with where things are going or where we're at with stuff. I'm like, I feel really blessed that, we have the clients coming into the space that we do, or not really literally coming into the space at this time because of we've closed during COVID. But coming to the space, but also the wholesale clients and all this stuff. It's been interesting, and I feel like, I don't know about you, but I will, it's the bill that they will come, and I find that's really what's really made me go, okay, like if I try this and there's some good response, I feel like I can continue it. But it's interesting as the business grows how much pressure, like really intense pressure there is to go where the water takes the path of least resistance. I remember talking to a specialty coffee shop owner who said to me, look, tea isn't coffee. I'm willing to pay more for my coffee, but I need to make better margins from tea. It just needs to happen, Jared, and I'm sorry. End of relationship. And it was a 4-year one. And it was kind of painful because I was like, okay, like literally I asked him to tell me what he was going to pay for his next thing of tea he was getting. It was literally cheaper than what I pay buying directly from the farmer. And
wow.
I was like, wow, and then I cupped it, and to me, it tasted like what he was paying for it, right?
Right.
But but how do you can't just be like, oh yeah, you're buying, commodity tea, and it just doesn't, I wouldn't buy that, or, I don't want to be all snotty or anything. So you want to really come at it from an educational perspective. But yeah, it's interesting because I find myself going down this route of like, maybe I should make it a little bit faster. Maybe I should make it a little bit cheaper. Maybe I should make it a little bit less of an experience and make it more about, but it's all those things that really set it apart in the first place. And it's almost like this intensive pressure to pull it back to conformity and put it in it back to, and then this is why tea is this way, or this is why coffee is this way right now, is because that. And I remember sitting there with a really important client asking me for tea bags, and I was like, I could do them, I think, pretty decent. I could use really good tea.
Yeah.
But I was like, but you lose out on so many things. Like there's a cultural component there that I'm really sad about. There's just so many things. So yeah, I don't want to go too much on a tangent here because we still got to make some drinks. But like, yeah, it was just, and I saw the coffee tea bags, and and I was like, this is interesting, because I always used to use that as an example. I'd be like, can you imagine if you had coffee in a tea bag, and then people would be like, ew, but it tastes pretty good, right? Like I had a cup, and because there's a local roaster here that makes them, actually 3 of them now. I just saw another one. It's
super popular right now.
It's like the trend, and in Japan they do these ones where you open them up and they kind of like open up and they you do the pour over. It's kind of cool. But thoughts?
I mean, no one's drinking that every day. So this is that niche market for like a coffee in a tea bag or whatever is for, hey, you're at a hotel and they, instead of Keurig, you can have this, and it's pretty good. I don't think you're finding, I certainly don't know of any customers who are drinking that for their everyday coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of for their road trip or whatever they're going on.
Mm.
But, some of it you just have to sort of be okay with eliminating customers based on what they want.
Right.
And I know that sounds kind of brutal, but it's like some people just don't want the coffee we provide or the tea we provide. They want a tea bag, and they want it in a paper cup, and they want it quick and to go, and they want it to be $2. And it's just part of our problem as entrepreneurs and everything is we're like, well, I got to serve that customer. I got to figure out how to get that customer something.
Right.
And I think it's just sort of becoming okay with, that's not the product I offer, but this is what I offer, and I will have an audience for what there is. And now the trick is you have to have enough people who are a fan of what you do to be able to do that. So,
or framing what you do as perhaps close to what the person's looking for, because I believe that the customer is not always right, and there's people that believe that the customer is all right. So what I believe is that we are all human beings. We all have different needs, we all have different desires, and we all have different wants, all that stuff. And if we try to be everything to everyone, even in like interpersonal relationships, things can get really challenging, because whereas
for sure,
if we come back to like ethics and morality and stuff, like everybody has different opinions and interpretations on what the right path is. Doesn't mean that this person is right and this person is wrong. We could go down that road and it gets really gray but like, yeah, it is a way of filtering your customers, because then you can be like, like, hey, if our values are similar here, then maybe we can get along, and if there's enough of you, which is I think what you're saying, then maybe I have a viable business. Right? Yeah. And
I mean, part of it's communication too. Like, so we get a lot of people who just come in and say, I like a English breakfast tea. Mm-hmm. And the temptation is to go, well, we don't have English breakfast tea.
Right.
But I do have this North Bank Assam CTC.
Right.
And then they're like, what does that even mean? Like, you're talking a different language to me.
Right.
So you have the opportunity there to do either some education or just to say, here's your tea.
Right.
And I tend to just go, here's your tea more.
Yeah.
And then they come back and say, that's the best English breakfast tea I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
I had a customer come in once who was like, hey, I would like, a black tea. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I told myself, I'm not going to give this person the whole like conversation about what that even means. I was like, yeah, I'll make it right away. It'll be ready in 30 seconds. And they said to me, I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I was like, okay, yeah, okay, understood. Then I'll just make it right away. And they're like, okay. And then I just made it. I set the timer quietly. I rang them through the till. I poured it through, handed it to them, and they said, thank you.
Yes.
They had, they had.
It's all communication.
Yeah, right. I was like, that was a really interesting moment, because we both, I really have this need to make the tea before I hand it to the customer, because I feel like there's just so much opportunity for things to go sideways when I hand, so there's a reason. I always say, I say this in the training sessions. There's a reason why we don't invite people behind the bar to make their own espresso. It's not because they can't. They may even very well be way better than we are.
Right.
But there's a service that we're hoping to provide. It's part of like kind of this environment, hospitality. Yeah, and there's a spiritual component to that. I think that it allows us to be of service to people in our community. And then there's this this idea that consistency. We talk about consistency and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot going on there. This drink that I wanted to show you, and I think this might be a good segue.
Yes.
Is kind of like,
speaking of quick and easy things.
Yeah, and hopefully doing it in a way that's not sacrificing principles and ethics and all that fun stuff. So if you I don't know how much because you were just talking about the North Bank Assam. And
what are we going to start with today?
Let's start with the North Bank Assam. Let's start.
Okay, I just realized I got everything except for the teas that you left me. They're just sitting outside of this room. I'll be right back.
Okay, awesome. No
2 seconds.
No problem at all. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn up the temperature of my kettle here to 99 degrees centigrade. Get it close to boiling as possible. And then I'm gonna use 40 grams of my North Bank Assam CTC. So. Alright. preheat. Okay. So, got myself a jar. Got myself some milk bank.
Jared, only 40 grams, you said?
Yeah, so one of these pouches that we sell, right, are 40 grams.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were thinking like, okay, people like to make their iced teas, and what we found is that when you use the full leaf teas, they're just so much more interesting. There's so much more complexity. But there's a reason why CTCs, I think, are popular, and it goes beyond them being cheap. When they're made, they're cut, torn, and curled. They form into these little tiny sponges. And you see them often put inside of tea bags. And what's kind of cool is they soak them in their own juices. So when you go to extract them, the extraction is almost instantaneous, right?
Right.
So what always came to mind is, I remember back in the day there was this invention called a tea presso. Have you ever heard of a tea presso before?
No, I haven't.
Well, there was I think actually in Kelowna, our friends over at Chai Baba used to have a tea presso, if they don't still. And
okay, cool.
And I was like, I was really fascinated by it. I thought it was so cool. Like, what if you could do with coffee what you do with or do with tea what you do with coffee? Like, throw it into the and you can actually do this process. But I'm actually like, I've come to this place where I'm like, I don't know if I believe in the espresso machine anymore, Andrew, because I think that the only purpose that it plays really is to push a fine grind through a filter that it would not otherwise be able to kind of naturally fall through using just gravity. So I don't know if that whole contraption is really that necessary. I think that it could be a lot easier, I guess I'm saying. You could have some sort of vacuum tube. You could kind of, it kind of seems to me like hot water towers, for houses where it's like keeping it hot, and then as you drain it, it's just like a little bit clumsy, and it just makes so much more sense if you just coil it through a heating coil. I have this theory that we're going to see espresso machines of the future, if not already, being these little tiny contraptions that just coil the heat and push it through a vacuum that then pushes the liquid through. I just think that's just going to make so much more sense, because then we won't have to hold it in a big tank or anything like that. Anyway, so in this tea presso, it was like we were doing it, and we were like, okay, yeah, we can get it down to 30 seconds, and we were like doing all these different things. And I was like, what if I just cut the tea presso out of the equation? What if I just brew strong, less water, more tea, hot as possible? Can I make a concentrate? And so that's kind of what's happened here. So if you cut in the world of tea anyways, I don't have as fine of a grind as an espresso here. You see those CTC particles are like kind of like big pieces of sand.
Yeah.
If I set my timer for like 40 seconds, and I often just kind of wing it for this process, and I pour 400 grams of water on top of the full pouch of tea, 40 grams of tea. And by the time
400 grams of water?
400 grams of water. And honestly, you can do this right out of the hot water tower.
Okay.
You could just like, I like boiling water on it. I think it gives it a little bit nicer flavor, texture, etc., etc. But 90-degree water, which is generally the hot water tower's temperature, is totally good. I find it takes about 40 seconds to completely fill to 400 grams.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with one of these pour kettles.
Yeah, they're a little bit, look, I'm already at, so I just got to 40.
I'm spilling everywhere, Jared.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Just because? Just having way too much fun over there? Is it just a big party?
My kettle's just a big mess today, apparently.
Okay. All right. Are we getting some of the water onto the tea?
Oh, yeah. We're good to go there.
Okay, awesome. So what I could do if I'd managed to grab myself another jar, I don't know why I only grabbed one, I
failed on that too.
Is I would actually pour into, I would actually drain into another jar. And then what I can do is I can just label it, right, with what it is, and I've made a hot concentrate.
Right.
So it's really, do you have any Do you have
I
any?
forgot about this tea.
It's in it. You know, it's easy to just sort of like gloss over because it's like, oh yeah, it's there. It's like such a standard bearer. You know, I haven't really done a show on it even because
we've been doing like a black tea concentrate with some other of your crimson teas, like where you do the 24-hour.
Yeah. We've even.
But I forgot all about this one.
You know, and what's interesting is if you did this tea using that system of like cold water, 24 hours, 40 grams, 850 mils, like we do, it wouldn't actually work. It's super bland and kind of woody and uninteresting. But this is interesting because now you have this really strong concentrate. So if you were to weigh this, if I had like weighed this out, it actually weighs 300 grams. So that's 100 grams of absorption, right?
Huh.
Now if you take that and you kind of the purpose of today was to say, okay, here's my concentrate, and then I wanted to make a royal milk tea. Okay?
Ooh, yum.
So the way to do that is you grab thank you, sir.
You have an assistant? I need an assistant.
I know. His name's Jared too. Everybody who comes to work here changes their name to Jared.
Name Jared.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. Okay, so where are we? We are looking for this guy. This will work. So you could probably the smart thing to do is to just put 45 grams in the bottom of a cup. Okay.
Is this your serving vessel?
This is what I'm gonna make it in. Yeah, you could put it in a cup, you know, if you wanted to.
I gotta show you my new cup so I can see that.
That's a little bit too sexy there, Andrew.
That
is a beautiful cup. Yeah.
Just got these this week.
That is so cool. Okay, so that's gonna be perfect for this. This will look so good. So if you put
40,
you put 45 grams. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to grab some sugar. I think I forgot my sugar. Is this sugar? That is not sugar. I'm going to go get some sugar. Just give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. You can maybe sing to the audience.
How much sugar do I need? I also don't have sugar, so I need to know how much to get back.
All right. I went and got me some organic cane. Did you sing?
How much? I was just asking how much sugar I need, but everywhere there.
Oh yeah, no, I was telling you, I was going to grab the sugar, and I was suggesting you sing to the audience while I was away. I was just wondering what you were saying.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put in. I kind of go back and forth between 5 and 10 grams depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do a 5 grammer today. No, let's do 10. We're gonna put some ice in this.
Okay.
So what you can do, you can actually make a simple syrup.
I do not have. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good for quick prep.
Right? And I don't think that you're sacrificing your morals here, man. You're not like a terrible human being for making this in advance like this. What is kind of creepy about this tea, Andrew, is when you're gonna store this in the refrigerator, and it's gonna look like so gross and cloudy and weird.
I remember that, yeah.
And then you're gonna take it out of the fridge, and you're gonna add hot water, cold water, or whatever, and it cleans right up. It gets super clear again. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about. I think it has something to do with like oil, like the oil in the tea, and
yeah.
Okay, so we've done that, and then so I like to do like I like to do 140 grams of milk on top of that.
So this is a cold latte we're making today?
We certainly are. You could totally do this. In a steaming pitcher too.
Right, make it like a nice. Okay, so I need some milk.
Yeah, you do. I should. You know, well, if I had planned ahead, I would have been like, "Hey, Andrew, these are all the things that you need for our lovely."
Well, you gave me a very good list. It did not include milk, so I'm just gonna go get some.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I was almost there. Okay. So I'm gonna also go grab some ice.
So how much milk? How much milk, Jared?
I would love you to do 140 grams. 140.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna get just a little bit of ice in mine.
Okay. So don't put that on.
And this drink is also interesting, made in a shaker.
Ooh, yeah.
And then you kind of like froth it up, and then this recipe, there's something about air that just does, I don't know, like lattes, when you get that nice texture, or whipped cream versus cream, there's just, there's something. Yeah. And so what I do is, I can shake that up in a cocktail shaker, and then sip away.
So you just put some ice on top.
Just put some ice on top, yeah. And this is now. So they say that the difference between milk tea and royal milk tea in Japan, anyway, is that in Japan they say royal milk tea is more milk than water, and then milk tea is more water than milk. That's apparently the difference. And so here we've made a super strong extraction, and then it's super easy, beautiful, velvety.
Woo! That's delicious.
Isn't that good? Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really easy. Okay. And if you took that same tea, and you did like a full-on, like, I don't know. Do you have like a random generic cup, like a hot cup?
Me?
Yeah. Of course, right? You just like something you use for Americanos or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna grab my generic cup. Just give me 1 sec.
Oh, you want me to go get one?
Okay, so here's my. See that? Doesn't that look like?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So
random generic cup.
Random generic cup. You put an ounce, 30 grams, in the bottom of said cup, and then just add water to the comfortable drinking line. And so what we like to do is even just fill this from the hot water tower. And then this is just a really easy drink to have.
Black tea.
Yeah.
So this is for that person who says, I don't have 30 seconds.
Right? This is actually faster than a tea bag. It still allows me to produce it behind the bar. It has all that efficiency. It's using a tea that's actually really decent. CTCs are cheap, but they can be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a lot of samples of CTC, and this is the one we went for.
It's like the Americano of teas.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of works. But I thought that the royal milk tea might be something that you haven't had before, and it'd be
I've never had that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting too.
I mean, what we've done in the summer is we use the concentrate
and
pour over water for our iced tea.
Okay.
And then for a black crimson iced tea, and then if people want, we have a honey sweetener, like a honey simple syrup that we make.
Okay.
For a sweetener, so
here's another one for you. Okay, one more. We're just gonna go all in on this, okay? So what I would love you to do is just grab. I want you to put about 100 grams, or maybe even 100 grams would be great. Okay. So that's like 1/3 of the concentrate that you made, okay? And then if you put in 100 grams of sugar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Going for it.
This is a lot of sugar.
Yeah, it is. Simple syrup, man. That's the thing. 1-to-1, right?
Right.
And then you're gonna try and get it in anyway. Is quarter of a lemon. If not, no. It's actually gonna be more than that, isn't it? I like to do like as many servings as are in there, so a lot of lemon. You can use one of those lemon squeezers.
Like half a lemon, basically, or?
Yeah, let's do. That's gonna be enough for basically 3 drinks. So why don't we do 3/4 of a lemon?
Okay.
Did you know apparently if you squeeze a lemon this way, then it gets, especially if it's a nice organic one, you get the oils off of the peel going in too, and that's actually where most of the flavor is.
Oh, so you do it upside down?
Yeah, and it's less messy too.
I just got seeds in mine. So.
That's okay. That's okay. You could always filter this later if you wanted to.
I enjoy a good lemon seed.
Yeah, right? Lots of nice pectin. Okay, so I have like this long spoon hanging around somewhere, but don't know where it is. Okay, let's go for. Why would Jared use a randomly weird cup like this? Look at that. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna do the old twirl technique here. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so this is essentially a simple syrup. So this is gonna be sweet if you're not careful. It'll be too sweet if you're not careful. So you wanna like edit this to taste, but but I find that if you just do like, like one of those like lemon wedges, like the like if you serve this on your, if you're able to like, I don't know how much lemon you have, but if you can get a circle, what are those called? There's a name for it, and then you can go to town. So if you want to fill this with some cold water, I would say a cup of ice water is what I like to say. So maybe like 180-ish of cold water.
180 of cold water.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and then you add 30 grams of this.
Oh, whoa, I went way overboard there.
Look at that color too, eh? Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I just love it. The lemon just makes it glow.
And sorry, what'd you say? 180 of water. Now, how much of the syrup?
30 grams. I'm just gonna try it without ice first. Just see what it tastes like. Well, that didn't quite work. Mine didn't mix very well. Please let me know how yours goes. I can see that sugar at the bottom.
Well, yeah, you didn't have a vessel.
Yeah, I know, right? I was kind of missing out here. This is supposed to work. You just put in equal parts sugar, equal parts. Oh, I vastly underdid it. It's supposed to be another 10 grams. Sorry, man. 40 grams total.
I went to 43 because I just went with color.
Okay, you were right. You were right. Experienced barista.
Mm. You know what? A little bit more.
Yeah? Let me taste.
Well, I spilt a bit, so I'm thinking I actually only got like 30 in.
Yeah, 45. We should just go with the latte. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 40.
That's
where it's at.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40. So anyway, you can totally adjust this to taste, but it's an interesting concept to have a lemon, sugar, some sort of hot concentrate. And the nice thing about that hot water is you can use it to and you can do this with the Earl Grey too, right? Which is kind of cool.
Yes. Okay, I just need like 2 seconds to clean up a mess here.
Sure.
I'm gonna put myself on mute, and you can keep on.
Keep on keeping on. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I'm into this. Yeah, that tastes good. So, so for the audience, 40 grams of this kind of lemon sugar tea concentrate tastes awesome over 180 grams of water. I think I would even strengthen that a little bit more, maybe make it more like 60 with some ice in it because of the dilution in a bigger cup. And then we'd be in a good place. So iced tea when you're in a pinch. You can also do this over hot water, and you can make a really interesting hot water tea. Yeah, so concentrates are a thing. They say that you only want to hold on to them for about 3 hours. 3 days. 3 hours, that'd be funny. 3 days, and then you kind of want to consider letting go. of said concentrate.
All right, I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
Ish. I'm still sticky.
Still sticky. Okay.
Okay, Jared.
Yeah.
Can I turn the rest of this video over to Joey for a bit?
You certainly can. Joey?
Joey's going to come on here.
Okay, amazing.
In half a sec, and he's going to do the rest of this.
Are we saying goodbye to Andrew, or is Andrew coming back in a little bit?
I'll come back as soon as I can. I just have to go get a bit of a vehicle emergency today.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
yeah. So
second in command, stepping
so I'm
in.
going to go get, I have 2 ratio managers that are going to, one of them will come on this video.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Now,
so this is dynamite, by the way.
Isn't it good? Isn't that cool?
That is very good.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I guess what I was trying to get at with the dialogue is like, kind of deciding what you really want to protect as a business, but still like leaving room for creativity to sometimes in the end you achieve the results that everybody's looking for.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Great to hear.
I'm gonna go.
We're gonna
go get my sub.
We're gonna do the Singer's Delight next. So maybe he can bring whatever he needs for making that, and he can show us how you guys make the drink.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, thanks. All right. So we will be joined shortly by Joey. We actually have had Joey make us some beautiful drinks when we visited Vernon, and it's going to be nice to have him on the show. He was almost stepping in for Andrew for this show in its entirety, so it's going to be really nice to see him. And we'll go over actually a drink that they've been doing. So I'm not sure if Sherri Ann from Sister Speak will be joining us today. I know she's trying to be here. She's our regular weekly guest, and she's actually recording her 3rd album right now. She does join us. It'd be kind of cool because we're going to be using a blend that we made with her. It's called Singer's Delight. Oh, is that Joey? Joey, you there? You want to unmute, man? I think you are muted. Hello. How goes it? But we can't hear you yet, so you need to unmute. And have we unmuted? Almost unmuted. I think you need to tap the screen, maybe. And there's like a microphone should appear, and then you can just tap it, and then it will unmute. I can also try to... Oh, awesome. No, still muted. Almost there. Okay. You can see in the background there. I can't hear you guys. You know, it's muted right now, but what I can try and do is unmute it from my end. Oh, there, I can hear you. Okay, amazing. Yeah.
Not yet.
We're good. I can hear you. Yeah. Yes.
Coming through.
I can hear you. So I can hear you, but maybe you can't hear me. Hello? Oh, that's too bad. Maybe your speakers are off? I don't know, man. That's kind of funny. Hold on one sec, everybody. You can hear them. Oh, hello?
We can't hear you all of a sudden, Jared.
Can you hear me now? No? Hello?
Hello?
Weird. Hold on. Let's so I can hear you.
Oh, there we go.
Hear you.
All good. Yeah, we got it.
Okay, we got it? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all right, awesome. So hello, Joey. Welcome to JagaVision. You're
yeah, sweet.
Stepping in for the boss?
I am. I guess I am.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Okay, so we were just talking about some really interesting things where you take this North Bank Assam CTC and you throw in a whole bunch of hot water, like 400 grams over 40 grams, and then you make a hot concentrate, which I think you guys have done in the past. But what we did is we actually cut it into some milk and put in some ice, and we made a royal milk tea with a little bit of organic sugar, which is pretty fun. So I don't know if there's any there left over for you to sample, but that's COVID careful. But if there is, you should give it a go.
Not yet. I'm not sure.
Not yet? Okay.
Wait, is that...
Sorry?
Oh, was that when you're adding milk, are you making a concentrate with that too, or are you just adding that to a diluted mix after to complete a drink?
Yeah, we're using basically the tea as a shot, almost like a flavor bullet that we're adding to some milk and sugar. And you actually dissolving the sugar into it while it's still hot is really helpful. You can even make a simple syrup with the North Bank Assam simple syrup.
Oh, nice.
Or with the concentrate.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe so our viewers
Yeah, yeah.
know a little bit about you, Joey. Joey, how long you been with Ratio? And what do you do?
Almost 5 years. I am the front of house assistant manager. I'm the kind of primary barista. I take care of a lot of the drinks.
Nice. Yes. And you've. Oh, I think
Yeah.
you froze there. Okay, there you are, back again. Okay, awesome. So you take.
Oh no. Okay.
you take care of a lot of the drink of the drink. Basically, you're managing the drink program kind of thing, and you're in front of house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And we've had some lovely experiences when my wife and I have had a chance to visit Ratio. I know that you've made some amazing. I remember having the pizzas and the lattes and the espresso shots and that Tiguan Yin that you made of our tea for us with the pizza and the kombucha. It was, I don't know, it was like
Right.
really fun to see the
quite a while
JagaSilk
ago, but I
JagaSilk products with your beautiful stuff. Yeah, that was quite a long
do
time ago.
remember. Yeah.
Okay.
It was. Yeah.
So we're actually we're pretty close to Andrew brought you in near the end of the show, but we still have a little bit left. And what we wanted to do at the end here was we wanted to actually learn a little bit about what Ratio is doing with our teas. In specific, you guys are using the Singer's Delight, right? And you're doing a cold.
We are, yeah.
We're doing a cold brew. So for our viewers to make a cold brew, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joey, you guys are doing the recipe of 40 grams in. You're doing 850 grams of cold water, and you're doing a 36-hour extraction.
Yeah.
Ish. And then that's your cold concentrate that you then cut with 25% hot or cold water. Is that kind of like the rough?
Yeah.
idea?
We only do it cold when we prepare it that way, but yeah, you could definitely do it that way.
Cool. Okay. So so any tricks? This one's a little bit more challenging to work with because of that marshmallow root, making it more like a lozenge, and it coats the throat, but it also makes it more kind of a viscous liquid. Any tricks for this extraction I'm about to do, or just go for it?
I like to go as fast as possible.
Okay. All right.
It's the way to make the least mess usually.
Oh, look at that. See, nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
you've got a nice container.
Is that how long is this process? Do I just kind of hang out all day with it?
That shouldn't take you too long.
No? Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just kind
At
of.
least I'm hoping not.
I hope not. Well, maybe I can actually speed up the process by using a coarser sieve for the show. Anyway,
Yeah.
You know.
We use a pretty large sieve to deal with it. Kind of like with that, yeah.
Okay.
if you don't make too much of a mess.
Oh, I'm worried. Oh yeah, I made
It's
a
time to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually curious how you deal with that. So maybe it's just hold it back like that. Ooh, I got an idea.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's whatever works in the end, and then you can always go back and sieve it again, right? So.
Okay. I think I found a solution.
That looks pretty clean.
Right?
I like it, Jared.
So I'm like a reverse sieve. I do get some botanical in there. You know.
A little grit never
A little
hurts.
grit, but I think we can post this. We can post the grit, Joey. Is what's going to happen.
True.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
It's kind of nice. We keep all of our cold brew in containers, so if there is a little bit of leaf material, it does get filtered out before we use it. And
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I've actually had people make these concentrates by the bucket when they have like chains of coffee shops. They'll at like the roaster, when they're roaster cafes, they'll just do like big buckets of them in a toddy.
yeah, exactly.
And then it kind of works, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the volume, yeah.
Right. Not for me. Hold on one sec.
Neither us.
Just one sec. You want to? I was trying to get Andrew to sing to the audience, so I quickly grabbed something. So that's gonna. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. Well, I can't sing for anybody, but I can sit here and watch Jared try and.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, just showing everybody how to make the concentrate has turned into an interesting moment, but I think we're good. We're gonna have a clear liquid. Look at that. Yeah.
Beauty.
Okay. All right. So, what do I do now? How do I make your drink? How do you
make my drink?
Your drink. Is it just the same?
Well,
Are we just cutting with cold water? Or do you add lemon? I heard something about lemon. What's
Yeah, so we do it. We do, yeah. So for the black tea, we do have a lemon syrup that we'll add to it. So it's basically a simple syrup with a little bit of lemon blended into it.
Okay.
The lemon's not overly powerful or anything like that.
What about
and depending on the tea?
Do you do the lemon for the Singer's Delight?
Not for the Singer's Delight. No.
A lot of people. Go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Yes, sorry. No, it's okay. There's just a bit of delay. I honestly like the Singer's Delight as is, but it would be good with just a plain simple syrup too.
Well, let's do as is. I actually haven't if you can believe it, I haven't had this one yet as a cold brew.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah, so why don't I fix that and have it as a cold brew?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm basically gonna get my water as cold as possible. When I do cold brew, I find it's kind of interesting to just kind of serve it in a decanter. So we're doing 75-25. Is that the plan? So 25% concentrate. So there's 70 grams. So if I do the math on that, 140 plus 35 is 175. Is that 175? That's 175. Is my math wrong there?
That's a good question.
140 plus 35. I feel silly.
Yeah, 175.
Okay, good.
It depends. We serve our ice drinks in one size, so there's only two numbers to remember.
That's always helpful. Yeah.
That's the better way.
Then we don't have to math. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, doing that looks a little weak. Does it look like that when you serve it?
No, it's usually a little darker than that.
I wonder if I didn't get everything out. Yeah, well, proof is in the pudding, I guess, eh? So I'll just rinse that. Okay. So.
I mean, it's always nice to taste test it and then kind of dial it into where you need it to be anyway.
Yeah, it needs it to be a little stronger. Huh.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I guess for those watching, that's kind of how the cold brews work, is we have kind of a goal temperature. Ratio. And then we kind of tweak it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully
depending on what you're doing, if your concentrate isn't as cold as it could be, the ice is going to dilute it if you're serving it over ice. So maybe a little bit extra cold brew concentrate is needed.
Oh, that's really herbaceous. That's almost tomatoey. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not picking up as much of the honey bush, hey? Seems like it's very raspberry leaf forward in the cold brew. But, you know, to be fair, I cheated. I did a 12-hour.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. So this isn't real. Why don't we hear about how it tastes over in Vernon?
Oh, let's see if I can grab some.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I think he brought some because we were gonna make it. It should be in your rough area. You gonna make some? Okay.
Andrew's got an interesting setup here. I'm not.
Nice. Okay.
Let's see.
We're gonna go for it.
It's got it in ounces and all sorts of fun stuff.
Do you do 75 to 25? Is that the standard?
I'm not sure what this cup's gonna hold. It's gonna be 60 here.
Okay. Yeah, probably a good call.
This is gonna be a little not how I would do it.
Okay. What do you do for the bar? You do 60 and
well, for the bar, for a lot of to-go drinks, it's pretty easy to eyeball the usually about 100 grams of concentrate. It's pretty easy to eyeball that.
And that goes into a 16-ounce cup, or
in a 16-ounce cup. Yes,
okay.
Exactly. Like I said, we only serve the one size.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then you're doing basically 400 grams of finished liquid, right? So 100 grams of concentrate, 300 grams-ish of cold water and ice. That kind of idea?
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's super nice.
So what
very floral.
Are we tasting the honey bush? Do you get that kind of strawberry vanilla?
You do get it a little bit. I think it's a little more muted in the ice drink. Okay. I think the aromatic isn't as pronounced in the cold version of the drink. So a little less detectable, but it's still there, right?
Right.
And it's still really nice and smooth when it goes down. So
really interesting texture, hey? Like with that marshmallow root, just making it like almost, if I was going to say, like I say it's viscous, so it's kind of got.
Yeah.
Reminds me of. Have you ever had slippery elm? It's another herb that's kind of interesting.
I don't think I have, and I haven't seen it in any of your teas that we.
No.
In, so.
We should probably do that next, eh? We could do a. I know that Sister Speak wanted to do sort of like a rotation, where they change up the herbs a bit, so it'd be that are all good for the throat. So.
It is really nice, and it does have a pretty nice body to it too, right?
Cool. Yeah. No, I'm into it. Okay, cool. So this particular blend, honeybush, marshmallow root, raspberry leaf. The honeybush is actually really good for just balancing out. Like it gives you a little bit of iron. It helps with zinc, actually. It's good for colic. It helps you breathe, which is great considering the times. The marshmallow root is good for coating the throat. It's just going to help in Sherri Ann's of Sister Speak's world. Of course, that's going to be really useful and helpful for singing. The raspberry leaf is a good tonifier. So it's a very healing, relaxing herbal blend. And you guys have been going through it pretty decent. Hey, I guess the response has been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's like a really good catch-all tea that a lot of people are just after something simple, and it's a drink people do come back for after they try.
Sweet. Okay. Very cool. Okay. Awesome, Joey. Yep. Well, we actually need to wrap things up for JagaVision episode 56, but I just wanted to know if you had anything, like any questions for me before we go, or if you wanted to point out anything that you guys are doing at Ratio that involves these teas, or if you have anything final you'd like to say to everybody here at that's watching.
I don't have a whole lot. I was thrown into this. I didn't know I would be doing it. But it's great to do this with you. It's pretty fun, actually. I'd like to do a full episode so I could take it all in, because you always know so much, and it's always fun to talk to you about all the different herbs and all the different qualities of all the teas. So it'd be fun to do it again.
Let's do it. That's very kind. Let's definitely do it. Let's have Joey from we could even do a session in July or something. We could get you on and we could talk about
absolutely
about something that we can discuss beforehand. Maybe we can talk about the tea and your we could maybe you're often involved at nights, right? And I was just talking to I'm curious, like I feel like there's something that we could do, like on the service side of it, and or maybe on presentation, and maybe we could try drinking the same tea but maybe from different glassware and see if that makes a difference in the end flavor and that kind of thing. It would be fun to do some sort of random cupping like that, hey?
It would be, yeah. We should.
Totally. Okay, maybe that's it. We can talk about how the service vessels can make a difference in the end flavor for a particular tea. We could choose something really like awesome, like a 2021 new oolong or something, because I feel like we've often had some good dialogue on the oolongs. I also have a lot of really interesting matchas coming.
Ooh, nice.
Very, very soon. The 2021 harvest will be available. So lots of exciting stuff around the
Beautiful.
corner. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Joy, for being such a sport and letting Andrew go deal with that emergency there and taking over. And really appreciate the space. Ratio has just been so amazing for JagaSilk, especially when things shut down for COVID. You guys were very careful, but you remained open. And I think out of 75 clients, you guys were one of 2 that did that. And it was just like, for us, it was like night and day, like for how that allowed us as a company to survive. So yeah, huge appreciation. So thank you for
hear. Yeah,
thank you for all you do.
We definitely love supporting all of your teas. They're always so good. So yeah, no, it's fun to be here, Jared.
Awesome, cool. Well, I'm really glad that you are, and I'm looking forward to the episode that we do where we have you on for the whole show.
I would love to. Yeah, I'll talk to Andrew. I'll make it happen.
Awesome. Okay, and then people can find you, I think, at ratiocoffee.ca is the webpage, I believe. And
that is the website, yeah.
And then Instagram is at Ratio Vernon, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
And then we also have Ratio Vernon Bakery.
Nice. Yes, we don't want to forget that. Because your guys' amazing bakery program. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joey, for coming on the show. Tell Andrew our regards and a thanks to him. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun when we have you on.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank you. Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So that was Joey from Ratio taking over for Andrew of Ratio. So really amazing sport to just pop in like that when Andrew had to get pulled away to go and deal with an emergency. So appreciation there for sure. If you're watching this episode archived, don't forget to click the subscribe button on the bottom of the video. We do go live every Thursday, generally at 1 o'clock. Today we were a little bit delayed. We started at 2. But yeah, generally we're at 1 o'clock. Thursdays, you can see us broadcast from YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, lots of different places where you can catch up on what we're doing. And look forward to seeing you next week. Same Jaga time, same Jaga channel. See you later.